Now that you've gone around and you've placed your geospheres where you need them, let's start to look at removing the geospheres from the die to make them into divots. So the first thing we need to do is to decide whether we're going to apply material maps before or after we do the sub object stuff. That means before or after we take these geospheres away from the cube. Now, this is an important question to ask because if we do it before we do the subtractions, the materials from the spheres will be applied to the faces we make in the divots. Now, if we don't do it beforehand, we'll have to go in and manually select those faces to apply materials to them. So by a little bit of pre-thought here, we actually save a lot of work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-apply materials to my objects. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a material for the main body of my die, and I'm going to make a white marble based material. So what I'm going to do is leave the shader type at Blim. I then am going to set my diffuse color to a whitish color. You notice how the ambient color goes with it. And then scroll down to my maps area. So if yours is closed like this, just open it up. Then look for the line called diffuse color. Click on the map none option here and go to bitmap on the dialog box that appears. Okay, this will open up a dialog box called the bitmap select, and what it will do is it gives you a listing of all the bitmap materials or JPEG materials you may have in your libraries. Now I have quite a few, so it'll just take me a second to find the marble that I'm looking for. Alright, I'm going to take this marble bitmap. As you can see now, it's now part of my palette here. I don't want to do anything to it, I just want to take the standard bitmap. I then want to go back to the master material, so I want to go back to the parent. So here you can see I'm back at my diffuse, and I can then close this down. I then want to make this a little glossy because I want it to be a shiny sort of die. So I just bring this up a bit, so now it's got a bit of gloss to it. And I now apply this material to my main cube. So now if I were to render this scene quite quickly, you can see that my die looks as if it was made of marble. Okay, so then what we need to do is take our objects that are going to be turned into divots and apply materials to those. So again, I'm just going to use the Blim option here, and in this case I'm just going to make a black material. So I'm just going to scroll up into the black there. I want it to be very glossy, so I'm going to really gloss it up. Make the glossiness quite sharp, so it appears to be a quite reflective surface. Now that's all we need to do for these things. What we could do now though is give them names. And we could save them back to a library, but I'm just going to give them names. I then apply this material to my geosphere, and now if we give that a quick render, we can see that my marble die has a little black dot on top of it. Okay, so now that we've gone and applied the materials, what we need to do is now subtract one from the other.